finally time to finish the rhino iguana enclosure. And of course, it wouldn't be a Shadows Reptiles video without a breach. But I have to admit, this is probably one of the fastest ones in one of these videos so far. Anyways, I'm blocked in right now because I'm starting to build the nesting grounds. Here I'm thinking of doing a 4 foot by 2 foot nesting spot. And here I'm thinking of doing 3 feet by 3 feet. Let me just go ahead and finish unloading all these cinder blocks and laying the foundation and put this big girl away. There we go. So Kata's contained. So I got a good idea of where I want the 2 basking spots to be. And I'm gonna put all those plants back there. Now it's time to lay out all of the grass and the mulch and think about how to structure the more open area in the enclosure. Just a flat room like this, let's say I just mulch this whole thing. It's not gonna work out. The iguanas are gonna be able to see each other at all points. If they could do that, there's definitely gonna be fighting. They're gonna be chasing each other around in this enclosure the whole time. So we need to create as many visual barriers as we can. But this whole thing here is also a door, as you can see. And I did that so I could easily bring in this cart so I could work in here. I don't want to block this with grass because it's probably going to be trampled somewhat. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be in here with that cart every single day. It's more just in case I need to do some heavy lifting or I need to bring in, let's say, a bunch of cinder blocks. I don't have to bring it all through the little door on foot. I'm about to get my hands covered in dirt. Probably not going to be talking to you guys too much. I'll do a quick little time lapse. Just like that, my hands are not so clean anymore. But we got not the job done, but most of the job done. Did not have enough dirt for this, had enough dirt for this. Either way, I went to a nursery that was selling it pretty expensive, so I just got enough for this little plant because, as you can see, it's looking a little bit dry, and I just wanted it to get some better nutrients and hydration from the soil. This is going to be where I keep the water. I'm going to put the water there with some PVC pipes going under the ground, and the food bowl is going to be somewhere in this area. Sometimes I offer a couple different places for the iguanas to eat because, again, they could get territorial when it comes to feeding and when it comes to nesting grounds. But other than that, they do get along pretty well, luckily. I'm hoping this grass gets really long and it's gonna offer a lot of hiding places for the iguanas. And of course, we're gonna need to add a lot more all over the enclosure because they will fight if it's too open. So you guys see, I didn't put any grass there. That's because there's gonna be other enclosures there and their hide box is gonna be there as well. But I'm not gonna be able to get that done today. That's definitely a project that's gonna take some time. And then for this spot, I kind of just ran out of grass. I'm gonna figure out what else I'm gonna put because I don't want it to be all grass either. I definitely want some things that go higher up and they could explore and climb all over. And check out these beauties. I think this is the first time I see Tank not doing his thing. And here the females chilling. They've all been getting along so nicely, which is amazing. There's nothing better than your animals getting along when you want to keep them together in groups. When you're trying to set up a big group and they're all fighting, it's a pain. Especially if you don't have other enclosures set up. That's something that I had to learn the hard way. If you are breeding animals and wanting to take in rescues, you always need to have a lot of extra empty enclosures. I think it's a pretty good time right now to show you guys the old rhino iguana enclosure. It's nothing crazy. It's pretty simple. It has 3 hides and 3 nesting spots. And then I have some plants there. So you can see it's kind of similar to the one I'm building. It's just the other one is going to be double the size. These branches I think are super cool. Unfortunately, I don't have any more this big, but we do have some thinner ones we're going to be using for the other enclosure. And this enclosure worked great for the rhino iguanas, but it is a little bit too small and sometimes they would fight over the territory. So I'm going to move them to that larger enclosure and I'm going to be putting my Cuban rock iguanas in here, which so far are getting along amazingly. Probably once the Cuban rock iguanas get a little bit bigger and they start laying eggs and get a little bit more territorial, if I see that there's a need to change them, I will change them and move them into an even bigger enclosure. I don't really like this one too much, so I'll eventually probably end up taking it down and rebuilding it. You may be wondering where the rhino iguanas are now. This is them right now. This is my winter setup. We definitely need some upgrading to do with this. But fortunately, I do live in Florida, so I only really have to deal with this a few times out of the year. And I'm definitely working on upgrading them very soon to just have heated sheds for all of them. I just started taking in too many animals at once and building too many cages, and they all started growing up at pretty much the same time. I did get a lot of my animals back in 2020 as babies, and they all at the same time had to be moved outside. So that's kind of the problem I had. This year was a very, very tough year with upgrading enclosures, making everything bigger, and trying to just upgrade everybody at the same time. We've been pulling through, we've done most of the hard part, and now we're finally starting to get through technically the hardest part. And once we're done with that, we're gonna be done. Everybody's gonna be fully upgraded and everything is gonna be perfect.
Several months later.
It's finally time to move the rhino iguanas into their new enclosure. Got this box for them. It's a little bit tight, but it's only a 3-minute drive to their new enclosure. So let's simply grab these guys and just put them in here. Looks like Rose is ready to go. She did not want to be left out. There you go, buddy. Oh no, almost had it perfectly. Let's see, come Blue. Alrighty, there we go. A little bit awkward, but he'll be okay. There we go, very nice. Gently, it's a box full of rhino iguanas. This is not a pretty sight, so let's get them to their new enclosure really quickly. And then the Cuban rock iguanas we're gonna be putting in here later today when I get back. I'm gonna miss these guys being here in my house all the time. All right, they're finally almost in their new mansion. All right. We'll close this up. Here we go. And I could tell they already made a mess in here. Oh, they didn't? Why did it smell so bad in the car then? Weird. What's up, Rose? Blue's already out of there. She did not want to be inside of this box. She does not like Rose, and Rose doesn't like her. You guys gonna go explore? You're just gonna hang out there in the box? What's up? Come on. Let me help you guys out. Now they need to go and pick their territories because these guys are territorial, especially the female and the female, because Dino is just gonna see this whole thing as his territory. But these two girls are gonna fight over which spot they like. That's why it's important to have a lot of hides, a lot of plants, a lot of cover, a lot of sun, a lot of basking spots. The only thing they really share is the water bowl, and for some reason they all like to cuddle up together at night, and then in the morning they just decide to have war until the end of the day. So these guys are awfully cuddly today. They're wanting to be on top of... Oh, Dino got a little bit mad. But first Dino got on top of Rose, then Rose got on top of Dino, and Rose did the first little poop inside of this new enclosure. And of course, there's Tank doing his thing like always. Have to put a few more screws in, and the enclosure is going to be pretty much done for the time being. There's still a lot of things I want to do with this enclosure, but it's finally ready to put in the rhino iguanas. I just decided to put them in here, and whatever other upgrades I need to do, I'll do them as needed. For now, I'm just happy these guys got a nice big enclosure. Yeah, they're probably not gonna use that skinny one too much. That one's mainly for aesthetics. That long one's good, and for the girls, but Dino's the first one to try it out, and it's way too big for him, or he's way too big for it. This one, I need to screw into the metal, and I do not have the right screws for that right now. Left them at my house, so I'm just gonna get it in this corner. Or actually, I'll probably just leave it without a screw, actually, so I don't want this pointy thing sticking out the bottom here. Actually, it's not gonna be that deep. Let's see. Yeah, that's actually perfect. You can't feel it at the bottom. There we go, that works. For now, that is all I could do because I cannot screw them into the side yet. I need to get the special screws for those. Oh, there's Blue climbing the enclosure right away. Hopefully, I put enough plants in here where the plants are gonna be able to grow and not get hindered by the iguanas too much. But I know that they're gonna definitely want to get a taste of the hibiscus and the cactus. I actually gave this enclosure 3 months to grow in and for the plants to gather some strength before putting the iguanas in here. This enclosure has actually been in the works for a long time now. I think it's been about 4 or 5 months, and I've been thinking about it for over a year. But I do have a ton of things that I have to do. I have over 100 animals, and they all need a lot of my attention every day. I also had to gather enough money as I was building it to go building it. If you guys want to support me further, I would greatly appreciate it if you go head over to shadowsreptiles.com. On there's going to be plenty of ways you could support me, whether it's by reading some of my care guides and leaving some comments. You could buy something from my shop, get some merch, get some animals, and they are already on top of this cage. One of the things that I did want to do before putting them in here was put a piece of plywood up there so that they could sit on it more comfortably. And I am kind of scared of them jumping off of there, so I'm going to have to watch them and see how they're going to interact. Now it's the two girls running into each other up here. I don't think either of them are going to be too territorial right now because it's a new enclosure. So right now what these guys are doing is pretty much what any family would do when they move to a new house. They're just looking around to see what rooms they're going to pick out. And the more dominant one is going to be fighting the least dominant ones and take the better spot. And my job as their keeper is to be able to make sure all those spots are suitable. And of course, they're not all going to be the best spots, but they're all going to be great spots. Anyways, enough iguana talk. Let's get back to work. There we go. Now we have a metal screw. Since I only have one, I'm just going to go ahead and put it right in the middle. There we go. This should be able to support their weight, no problem. If I see that it doesn't, I'll add another screw in this corner. And hopefully I won't have to screw it into the blocks, but worst case scenario, I could. Probably won't do that though. And now the cool thing is this acts as another hiding area for them. Of course, they have their big hide right there. And they have another little hiding area under here. And now over here, we're gonna put a hide that's a little bit bigger than that one. That's where the heat is going to be for the winter when it gets cold for them. And I wanted to take a moment to thank you guys. Those supporters that have been loyal to me from the start, I greatly appreciate you guys. I know I haven't been as loyal to you as you have been to me. I've been very busy and YouTube has been the thing to take the hit for me. I put YouTube aside because honestly, it hasn't been making me enough revenue for me to focus on it. All their upgrades cost me even more money. So I'm constantly having to focus on either taking care of them, upgrading them, or making money. YouTube just takes too much time and energy out of me. As much as I would love to come back, I physically can't right now, but I really want to. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to challenge myself for the next month or two to try and pump out a video once a day. And I'm not going to upload it all on YouTube right away because that's going to just be a waste, and I'm going to go right back to being overburdened by things if I did that. So what I will be doing is I started a membership on my website. So if you guys want to see all my videos ahead of time, you could actually go and subscribe to my membership. It's going to be $10 a month, and we're going to be doing a lot of giveaways. There's going to be group chats. There's going to be a lot of fun things, and the more people join, the better it's going to be getting. I honestly didn't want to tell you guys about this just yet because I wanted to make it better. I wanted to pump out more videos, but I need your support. More so mentally than financially, to be honest. I just want to know that you guys are there for me and supporting me, and I don't need your money. I don't need you to become members for that. I would just appreciate it if you guys left me some more comments, left me some more likes, subscribe, hit the notifications, and just let me know what you like to see more of. I'm going to be able to ask you for your opinion on pretty much all types of matters, shadows, reptiles related. I also have another group chat dedicated for specifically animal help. So if you have any animal related questions, you could ask me. I'm also going to have admins that are going to be well educated with reptiles, and they're going to be able to help me answer all your questions. And when I say I've been working on something for the past few months, I hope you guys understand that doesn't mean I've been sitting there working on it for 2 months. I have a bunch of different things that I have to do with Shadows Reptiles, and I'll tell you more about that in the future. Probably a lot more on the membership because that's going to be a lot more intimate, and I'll be able to tell you guys all types of Shadows Reptiles secrets that I won't be able to publicly share on YouTube. But I'll probably share my schedule with you guys eventually so that you could see just how much effort I put into my animals. Because one of the things I like about YouTube is you guys are able to experience everything that I experience, and since I'm just too busy to record videos, you guys don't even know what I'm doing. I might be just slacking for all you know. So I want to definitely get back on it, and I want you guys to help me get back on it. There we go. Now they have their water, plenty of food. Of course, they're still going to be getting their pellets and occasional treats throughout the week. I always like to make sure that my animals are able to survive if something were to happen to me for a few days that I wasn't able to tend to them, which never happens because whatever I go through, I'm always there to support them. But yeah, so far they've been doing good. I've been watching them for a while and they haven't been fighting or anything. They're all pretty much just exploring. They still haven't gone in the hide yet, but I think I'm just gonna let them be. I do need to go and do other things at my house. So, oh, there goes Dino. So I'm gonna get back to work and I'll probably check on them later today, or I'll just have my grandpa send me an update. Finally back home. We can start moving the Cuban rock iguanas to the rhino iguana enclosure. This guy is ready to fight Bones, my other Cuban rock iguana, which is kind of just a free roaming rescue. He's a retired breeder from somebody else, and he was given to me. Here you go, bud. There we go. And this guy's a rescue as well. All of my Cuban rock iguanas are actually rescues. But I think these guys are so cool when they're full grown. Look at this guy. He looks like an absolute dinosaur. What's up, buddy? And all these lizards are always so friendly. And if they're not, they're super easy to tame up. Even the adults. Although this guy was already friendly when I first got him. He was just a little bit skittish. That guy was not super friendly, but he let me hold him the first day and he didn't give me a hard time. But now this guy is more of a Lewisii hybrid, which is a mix between a blue iguana and the Cuban rock iguanas. That's why he has such pretty colors and blues and stuff. That one is a natural Cuban rock iguana. He doesn't have any blues on him. Of course, we need to get Bonnie and Clyde. Let's see if there's any in here. Nope. That means they are in this area. They have a big enclosure. Let's see. Here's Bonnie. And where's Clyde? Let's see. She is usually super friendly too, but I think she was in a little argument with Clyde. We're gonna have to close this off so they don't run off. What's up, Bonnie? Why are you acting like this? Oh, here's Clyde. Come here, my girl. Yeah, I know you hear all this running around, all this craziness, and you're getting a little bit freaked out. Sure, gliders are screaming. Everybody's screaming. All right, Bonnie, let's go. You're gonna go to the new enclosure first. No. Now, these gloves are one of the best things I've gotten because I don't get constantly scratched up by the iguanas. Hey, Bones, what are you doing in here, man? This isn't your enclosure. Now, Bonnie and Clyde are completely pure Cuban rock iguanas, just like Bones. Let's move this guy over here. Go over there, bud. You have a whole backyard to hang out in. Don't mess with these guys. It's okay, Bonnie. Or Clyde, sorry. Clyde's the one with the good tail. You're good. I think I think she might not like the gloves. It's okay. All right. Isn't it funny that I removed the gloves to get the most aggressive one? Oh, and she messed up the zoom. There we go. Let's see, I think this girl might be, if not already gravid, she might be getting gravid soon, so I don't want to disturb her too much. What's up, Clyde? You're good. Check this out. But you're going to be much happier in this enclosure. Just because they have the grass and the cactus, but it's pretty much the same size as the one they were just in. Now that we got the Cuban rocks in there, we could get Rexy back over here. And Rexy is actually for sale. I already sold Rex and I want to sell her too as well. Even though I really like the Savannah monitors, I just have way too many animals. And I'm trying to focus more on the other ones that I already have and upgrading them. So if anybody's interested, she is ready to go to a new home. And she might even be fertile with some of Rex's eggs, but I'm not sure about that. So we're going to put her in here. And since I do have tortoises back here, we're going to close this off so that she doesn't go mess with them. Of course, she used to live in this enclosure, so she already knows where to go and everything. But since I sold Rex, I gave the Cuban rocks the bigger area and I put her into the smaller 6-foot enclosure. And now I want to put my bearded dragons into this enclosure, and pretty much this was like a game of traffic jam. The rhino iguanas were the ones blocking off all the animals from being upgraded. Now that I was finally able to move them over, a bunch of my animals are going to be getting nice upgrades. It's the next day and it looks like these guys are settling in nicely. They've already flattened out all the grass, not by eating it, just by moving around. It's still long if you pick it up, but it's very flat in there. I guess they haven't been walking around this area too much. I'm not sure if they've gone inside the hide. I definitely haven't seen them inside of the hide, but they are very active, getting sun. They've been eating good. So it's safe to say they've been enjoying this enclosure. There's Boo actually eating some Missouri right now. If you guys like today's video, make sure you leave a like. Let me know in the comments what you want to see more of. Make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications, and have a great day.